You know, life has a funny way of throwing curveballs, especially when you least expect them. My story isn't about being born a hero or possessing some innate, obvious talent. It's a classic tale, really, of someone who started at the very bottom. It's about overcoming adversity, the kind that makes you question everything. It's about discovering a hidden potential you never knew existed. And it's definitely about the sheer, stubborn power of perseverance. This isn't just my story. It's a testament to how leadership can be recognized in the most surprising ways, often when you're at your lowest point. It's a journey from being the punchline to becoming the point. When I first arrived at basic training, let's just say I wasn't exactly what you'd call military material. I was more mild-mannered librarian than mighty warrior. The laughter started almost immediately. It wasn't malicious, not at first, but it was constant. Every stumble, every missed command, every awkward attempt at a push-up was met with a chorus of snickers and outright guffaws. I was the living embodiment of perceived weakness. My physical inadequacy was glaringly obvious. I struggled with every drill, every run, every obstacle course. My movements were less crisp and precise, and more flailing octopus. I certainly didn't fit the stereotypical image of a soldier. I was the guy who looked like he'd get lost in a phone booth, let alone a sprawling military base. My uniform seemed to wear me, not the other way around. I was the one everyone pointed at, the one whose very presence seemed to lighten the mood for everyone else. I was the comic relief, the perpetual underdog, the barrack's biggest joke. That laughter, though, it did something to me. It wasn't just embarrassing, it was a constant, grating reminder of my perceived failures. But slowly, subtly, it began to transform. It became a significant catalyst, a burning ember in my gut. Every snicker, every whispered comment, fueled a quiet, simmering desire. I wanted to prove them all wrong. I wanted to show them that their laughter was misplaced, that their judgment was premature. It motivated me in a way nothing else ever had. I was determined to rise above my perceived limitations. I started pushing harder, staying up later, practicing drills when no one was watching. The humiliation was a powerful, if uncomfortable, motivator. It forged a resolve I never knew I possessed. Amidst all the ridicule, there was one figure who never joined in the laughter. He was a force of nature, a man carved from granite and discipline, the drill sergeant. He was the ultimate figure of authority, a walking embodiment of military precision. While others snickered, he watched. While I stumbled, he observed. His gaze was intense, unblinking, and utterly devoid of judgment or amusement. He assessed me with an unnerving calm. I expected the same scorn, the same dismissive glare, but it never came. Instead, there was a quiet intensity in his eyes, as if he was looking for something no one else could see. He was searching for a spark, a flicker of potential. He saw beyond my physical awkwardness, beyond my initial struggles. He saw something special, something hidden beneath the layers of self-doubt and public humiliation. He saw what others missed entirely. Perhaps it was a natural aptitude for strategy, a way I approached problems that was different, unconventional. Maybe it was a knack for motivating others, even when I felt utterly unmotivated myself. Or perhaps, and I believe this was it, he recognized an unwavering determination to succeed, a stubborn refusal to quit, no matter how many times I fell. He saw the fire in my eyes, even when it was just a tiny flicker. The drill sergeant's role was absolutely crucial. He saw beyond my initial shortcomings, beyond the laughter and the perceived inadequacy. He didn't just see a recruit, he saw a leader. He identified the potential for leadership, not in my physical prowess, but in my spirit, in my resilience. He saw the raw material for something great, something that could be forged under pressure. The day it happened is etched into my memory with perfect clarity. We were out on the training grounds, the sun beating down, dust swirling around our boots. I was, as usual, struggling with a particularly complex tactical exercise. I was trying to direct my small team, fumbling with the map, my voice cracking with uncertainty. The usual snickers were starting to bubble up from the sidelines. I braced myself for the inevitable wave of ridicule. Then, his voice cut through the air, sharp and clear. silencing every other sound. It wasn't a shout of anger, nor was it a command to fall in line. It was something entirely different. He looked directly at me, his eyes piercing, and in a voice that resonated with authority and a hint of something else, something akin to respect. He said, "All right, General. What's your next move?" The world stopped. The laughter died. A stunned silence fell over the entire training ground. "General!" He called me General. It was a turning point, a seismic shift in my universe. That moment represented absolute validation. It wasn't just a nickname. It was a recognition, a profound acknowledgement of my hard work and my unwavering dedication. It was the ultimate stamp of approval. The title acknowledged my growth, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. It recognized the qualities I had developed in the crucible of basic training: resilience, strategic thinking, and an unexpected ability to inspire. It signified a complete shift in perception, not just from the drill sergeant, but from everyone. The ridicule vanished, replaced by a stunned silence, then a grudging respect, and finally, a quiet understanding. I was no longer the joke. I was the one with command. My story, from being the barracks' biggest joke to being called General, resonates far beyond the confines of basic training. It taps into universal themes that speak to all of us. It's a story of triumph, of defying expectations that others, and even you yourself, might have set. It's about the incredible power of self-belief, even when that belief is first sparked by someone else. It reminds us that true leadership isn't always loud or obvious. Sometimes it's found in the quiet determination of the underdog, in the person who refuses to quit, no matter how many times they fall. And sometimes, all it takes is one person, one discerning eye, to see past the surface and recognize the potential that lies within. That recognition can change everything.